I think most of the hand gear is good enough to filter all that out. These new
Because,
transceivers are awesome.
because they run some huge amplifiers.
Are they still doing it?
Well, they still advertise them on what am I trying to think of? Anyway, they're still advertised and they're still showing them on YouTube. That's what I'm trying to think of.
I haven't even tried to listen to the CB band in probably 10 years. I used to have problems with them on 10 meters. I was working the low end of 10 meters, 10 meter CW, and then CBers would get completely out of their band into the low end of the 10 meter hand band with voice, and the low end of the 10 meter hand band is for CW. Of course, they're digital mode now, but back then it was just CW. And especially the Mexicans and Central and South America stations where you could hear them down in the low end of 6 meters. I mean, 10 meters. That was annoying.
Yeah, I've seen some 5 kilowatt amplifiers that
Wow.
guys show on for 11 meters,
Yeah.
some home built things. And I just wondered, what kind of, whether they're using any filtering on the output of those things or not. I kind of doubt that they're very careful about filtering the output of those things very closely. But
man, you go to that much power on that frequency, you're going to cause problems.
you'd think so.
That's why the FCC limited them to 5 watts.
Yeah, but apparently they haven't stayed limited. I had no idea that that they were amping those things up like that. But
yeah, well, the truckers been doing it for a long time.
yeah, just think of the alternator that it's going to take to
Yeah.
pull a 1 or 2 kilowatt amplifier.
Yeah, well, truckers wouldn't run that much power, but 400 or 500 watts, which is still a tremendous lot of power on 27 megahertz.
Yeah. So did the FCC finally get after him for that, or?
I think the FCC gave up on them.
I think that's what's happened too. I think the FCC gave up because how are you going to catch them really? It's going to be tough. They don't use their call sign. So.
Well, the FCC even quit issuing call signs.
Oh, they did for CB?
Yeah. Long time ago.
They're going to let them go to FM. That was a ruling here just recently. They're going to start letting the CBers use FM.
On what
Maybe
band?
I'm sorry?
On what band?
On 11 meters.
Well, there's FM on 10 meters, so I guess you could do that, but FM is wider bandwidth than single sideband, so.
Oh yeah, a lot wider, I guess.
They're gonna reduce their amount of channels down, or?
I don't know. Those no telling what those guys are going to do.
Yeah.
Some of those YouTube videos on some of those amps those guys have built and they supposedly work. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of guys on there that build them and sell them. But I noticed that they're just selling the amp palette. They're not selling any low pass filter for them or any kind of filtering network for them.
Well, if they don't have a low pass filter, they're putting out a lot of garbage, because solid state amplifiers are not clean unless you have a low pass filter on them.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But they show videos, those guys that are building them and selling them show videos of them, at 2 kilowatts, 2.5 kilowatts. But they never show any, of course, that's into a dummy load, but
Yeah.
I've seen the pricing on them, and they price the pallet, and they don't price any filter for them. So I assume that they don't have a filter to go with them, or not. I don't know.
Are they solid state?
Yeah, they're all solid state. Well, there's some on there, some guys that show amps that they've got that
they're tube amps.
That are tube amps, but the guys there's 2 guys on there that make the pallets and sell them.
My God, this guy's back.
There's John.
Yeah, I'm here.
I hear you. I don't see you.
I'm working on it. Hold on. I've got weirdo things going on here.
What else is new?
Just electronics that will not work.
So, Bill, did you make any contacts to get on the air with your rabbit ears and make a contact?
Well, if listening counts as a contact, I made about 6 or 7 contacts right in a row there.
Being a shortwave listener, huh?
Yep, that's all I've been so far. But
I've got 160 meters running over on that setup, and I've got 70 centimeter moon bounce running right here, and I'm copying stuff on both of them. As a matter of fact, I worked Virgin Islands just before I got on Zoom here on 160 meters a while ago. Virgin Islands coming in.
Wow. On 160 meters.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get on later and see if I can work a little DX on 160. Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing, Ken? And Bill and Mike?
We see you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the FedEx truck. It's pretty late for deliveries, but okay.
You get a delivery?
I guess so. I guess they're running late.
You better go get that. Might be some radio gear.
No, it's probably some Christmas present for somebody. I'm going to go ahead and guess on that one.
Well, that's why they're running late, John.
Yeah, I know, but they need to shut it on down after dark.
The shipments they're really overloaded, I think.
They need to start early in the morning, and then they're done by 4 or whatever.
Galaxy Note 9 is connecting. No audio yet.
There we go. So how you guys doing this week?
We're doing fine, John. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I guess we got, Christmas coming up, right?
Yep.
And then everything calms down.
I'll be glad.
I'm telling that to you, but shh.
Yeah. So, who's Galaxy Note 9?
Hey, Ken, it's Mike.
Talk to us.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. What's this Galaxy Note 9 thing you
Oh,
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'm trying to figure out how to fix that.
Thank you. You're fine. Have a good night.
I don't know how to fix it.
Well, I'm not worried about it if you're not.
John told me how to fix it. John,
Just go up to there's on your screen there's 3 dots, and go on down and click on the 3 dots, and you can hit rename. And then let's see if I can do it. There you go. See?
It's not working for me. Oh, three dots. There we go.
3 dots all the way down. It says rename.
Yeah. Dispense.
But you're
Chat.
probably on a tablet.
Well, I'm on my my telephone.
Oh, okay. Well, oh yeah, that's always,
It makes it harder.
yeah.
I'll figure it out in a minute. I've done it before. I just gotta figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you. Put the cursor over your own image and then go up to the top right. Click
Real
on the
quick.
3 dots.
Ken, you got to fill me in on Bill's saga with his antenna there. What's new this week?
Oh, I have to let Bill tell you.
Well,
no.
not much. I did do some work on the antenna. I got the center post installed in the hub, got that centered up, and figured out after I got it in, it's got a piece of tubing that sticks out of the bottom of the center hub that's about 16 inches long. So the stand I had built is not going to work. I'm going to have to modify my stand because it wasn't designed to have that extra piece of tubing sticking out. So I'm going to have to cut it off and then get some kind of a piece of pipe or something to attach to the top. My stand's a 4x4 post with a base on it to keep it standing upright. So I don't know.
You got your hex beam put together?
That's what I'm talking about, the hex beam.
Okay.
I worked on it this week. I've got the hub all put together, and I put the center post in the hub, and this didn't realize it, but the center post sticks out the bottom of the hub about 16 inches. So, and that's what you meant. That's the mount for the hex beam too, but it doesn't work with the stand that I had built. So I'm gonna have to modify the stand to hold it, because you really need it on a good stand, so you know to work around it, because it's 22 feet across and 11 feet from the center out to the edges, and you need.
This is just while you're working on it?
Yeah, while I'm working on it, something to hold it upright, and otherwise otherwise I don't think you could put it together unless you had it on some kind of stand. It'd be real difficult anyway to try to like do it on the floor or something. I don't think you could. I guess maybe you could. You might, if you had a big heavy vise, you might clamp it in the vise and do it on the floor, but I'd rather
be a lot easier to have a stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Ken, you're right. Radio equipment did get here. It's Percy. Percy
What
got
is it?
here.
What is it?
Or Thomas and friend.
Oh, you got you a toy, huh?
I got myself a toy.
All right.
I guess Percy finally got here. It only took him 6 weeks. There's my sophisticated radio equipment that showed up today.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Ken, question about moon bounce. You said you were using mainly 70 centimeters a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason is that you can make a smaller high gain antenna. Is that the main reason?
Yeah. The higher the frequency you go, the smaller the antenna. So I'm using two 25 element antennas. Gives me about 20 dB a gain.
Holy moly.
And if you have 100 watts with 20 dB gain, that's 10,000 watts ERP.
Yeah.
And my station is considered a QRP station.
Your station's considered a QRP station at 100 watts?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what he means is there's guys running more power than just that 100 watts.
Right.
Yeah. Most all of them are running 800 kilowatt, 1.5 kilowatt. I worked at Estonia. I think it's yesterday. He was running 1.5 kW on 70 centimeters using some kind of a Russian tube amplifier.
In in looking around at amps and solid state amps that people sell and build, there's a Russian outfit that builds a lot of amps. They had one, a 2.4 kilowatt amp that they sold a few of anyway, and he always had a sticker on the front of them with the call sign of the person that he was building the amp for. So I finally got a hold of one guy and asked him about that, how he liked that amp. And he certainly didn't have anything good to say about it.
Ken, what frequency are you on right now?
On which band?
What are you running right now?
I'm monitoring 160 meters
Okay.
on one setup, and I'm monitoring moon bounce on the other, and I'm copying this guy in Maryland.
We're out on moon bounce. We're out on 160.
The 160 meter band is I'm monitoring the FT8 mode, and it's down at the bottom of the band. Let's see. It's 1.840, 1840 kilohertz, 1.840 megahertz.
All right, I'm there now.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I just can't show you because he's got the. So what I did was I had an old antenna kit that I don't use anymore. That was a dipole, and I had this extra 50 feet of coax, and I hung it up in the backyard.
Yeah.
And hooked it up to my RTL SDR.
Yeah.
And so I've just been watching the bands all week.
Yeah.
And actually it really helped me out to have the SDR because I made quite a few contacts over the weekend. And
on what band?
Mostly 20.
And what mode?
A phone.
Phone. Yeah. Are you copying FT8 right now on 160?
I'm on 1.840.
Put it on, change the mode to FT8. And
Yeah, let's see here.
do you have the WSJTX program running
Yes.
and hooked up? Can you
Yep.
see signals on the waterfall?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I wish I could show you, but I can't.
Change it to FT8 and they'll start decoding.
All right.
You don't even have to click on one of them. You could take your mouse and double click on a strong one, and then that one will print out, but it'll print them all. It prints up, man, mine decodes sometimes 20 stations at a time, puts them all up on a screen.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, I got told Bill, I worked at Virgin Islands on 160 FT8 just before I fired up the Zoom program.
Wow.
You might see him on there. He's KP2BH. KP2BH. Virgin Islands.
And then something else I did, I have the software that I run is called AirSpy.
Yeah.
SDR Sharp, and it works as a waterfall for the voice bands.
Mm-hmm.
And so it works pretty good. Works better than I thought it was going to work.
Sounds like you're coming along pretty good. It's a new, a new mode for you. There's a lot to learn, and you can definitely, probably right now, you could be getting some DX on 40 meters. You're probably blasting in on 40.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's fun. Mess with that.
Now we got to get Bill Boyd to do it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I just got to see how to plug that thing into my Kenwood there.
Well, SDR works good, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
That's a receive only though, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's just to the computer.
Yeah. But that'll help you get used to the software anyway.
Right. You still got that cable I can come get tomorrow?
Cable. What cable?
The Kenwood.
Yeah. I
What
got
was
it.
it?
It's more
Yeah.
than a cable. It's more than a cable. I'll show it to you.
You ain't kidding.
All the cables that goes, and this is a SigLink interface
Right.
that you get. I'm giving you that too. And the cables that, one cable goes into the radio, and the other one goes into the USB on the computer. And this cable, does this look like? Microphone?
Yep. It goes right into where the key goes. So in the 530S, right, that would be the relay cable for the, if you're using an amplifier, it would key the amplifier.
The accessory connector.
Right.
On the back. On the
Right.
back.
Right.
On the back of the radio.
Yeah. That's the same connector that you would use. See, I got one right here.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's how you connect the amplifier. Same one. And it keys the amplifier. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. All right. I hope this is the right one.
The only difference with this is this thing goes back in the back of the amplifier.
Yeah. All right. I acquired this thing years ago, and I gave it to Beth, a ham that lives out here by Maud. And,
Wow.
And she moved to Amarillo, and she gave it back to me about a month or so ago before they moved. So I don't need it. So I'm going to pass it on to you.
Yeah. See, he just so getting me into FT8. Got to get FT8.
Do what?
Got to get into FT8, huh? Digital.
Yeah, this will do all digital modes, not just FTA. All digital modes.
We'll do RTTY.
Huh?
We'll do RTTY.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just a matter of having the right software, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a WSJT, is that right? Yeah, that's what I have.
WSJTX. But there is some RTTY software that's just standalone RTTY software. MTTY is one of them. But I don't use it. I don't do RTTY. Mike, tell us what you've been doing.
Oh, just working. That's why I'm on the Zoom tonight. I was going to go to the meeting, but I was up in Tulsa all day today, and then I'll go back up to Tulsa and Pryor tomorrow. And
I think the last time you talked to us, you was in Dallas or somewhere.
yeah, I tried to jump on at a hockey game. I was at a Dallas Stars hockey game, but it was just too much background noise.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it from my phone for the first time. And
Oh yeah, sounds impossible.
yeah, I should have practiced before I did it. So it didn't work out. I just jumped on and said hello. But hopefully, my goal is this summer is to get an HF rig and try to get on the air on HF. Just doing 2 meters and 70 centimeters right now. So
Well, Bill Boyd here. Do you know? Have you talked to Bill? Have you been on when Bill's been on?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's the
I
first
don't
time
think
I've
so.
seen Mike.
Bill is building up the station, and he's been working on the antenna, and he's really going all out. He's gonna have a nice setup when he gets through.
Yeah.
That's the key, getting through, finishing. It's been
He's
a
got a
project.
tower. He's putting up a tower and he's putting it way out from the house. So he's got to run PVC underground out there and
Oh, wow.
the coax in it. He's gonna have a DX station there when he gets through.
Well, I hope I hope it'll get out and maybe I can do some DX with it.
I don't think he'll have a problem. Let's see, Bill bought a Yaesu amplifier, and I mean a transceiver. And I think, Bill, is that the same thing that Mike has? KB5HXT, Mike?
I've got a 991A Yaesu.
Is that what yours is? No, no. What was yours, Bill?
DX10.
Yaesu?
Yeah, Yaesu DX10.
Hey, real quick, Bill, does that have the 3D interface?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that. I actually talked to a guy over the weekend, and I asked him if he was using. He was in New York, and I asked him if he was using the 3D interface. He said it was really cool.
Yeah, you can. You don't have to use it. You can use it 2D or you can use it 3D, either way.
But he said he had it up on a 32-inch flat screen, projected the screen. He said the thing looks just great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a connector right on the back of the transceiver to plug in your TV monitor, or a monitor anyway, not TV, but a monitor. I've got a spare monitor around here somewhere for it.
Oh, geez, you could pick one of those up for $10. Well, not that little, but I think they're what, $100 or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's an older one that I've had. But I think it'll be fine for what I'm going to use it for. Yeah.
There's a professor at OU. His name's Sam Dewey, Dr. Sam Dewey, and he built a geochrone out of Arduino and an old monitor. And the thing looks cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that something he has plans for, or?
No, it's just on the wall. It shows you the gray line map.
I know, but I mean, does he give away plans for it?
I think he's got it, but he always says he's going to get up on here, and I don't ever see him. He has the link is up on w5nor.org. But yeah, I'll ask him on Friday. But it's cool, the geochrone thing he's got. It's really the way he made it anyway. It didn't cost $3,500. What I mean. At the club meeting on Saturday, that was the presentation was about Arduino. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but.
Did you go to that meeting Saturday?
Yeah, I did.
Do you go there very often?
I go there once a month for the meeting.
I've got something that I'm going to give you to give to Mark.
Oh, Mr. Klein, Mr. Section Manager.
Yeah, he's got a dish. I've got a feed horn I'm going to give you to give to him.
Okay.
To go to his go to this dish.
What is it?
It's a feed horn that goes in front of the dish antenna.
Oh, okay.
He's got I think it's a 10-foot. Remember the old C mount? No, I think this is it was a weather dish antenna, parabolic reflector for the weather frequency.
Okay. I will gladly give it to him. I'll probably give it to him before the next month's meeting.
Okay.
I've got a dish up on the roof I'm not using anymore.
Yeah. It's called Dish, huh?
Yeah. Yep. It was from Dish. That's who it was. No, I'm sorry. It was DirecTV.
Yeah, I have a DirecTV one too.
I cut the cord from DirecTV.
I did too, long time ago.
We found out we just weren't watching any. We were streaming everything we watched, or we weren't watching anything off DirecTV.
Yeah.
So, except local channels, and I can get local channels with an antenna. I've got in the
Yeah,
attic
me
just
too.
fine.
I've got antenna in the attic. I get all the local channels. Perfect. Since they went all digital, you don't have snow anymore.
No, you either get them or you don't.
Yeah.
There's no real in between. There's no snowy in between picture like we grew up with.
Yeah.
We lived in Elk City, which was 120 miles away, and
Yeah. You had a snowy picture.
yeah, you had to
No
have
matter
really-
which way you pointed your antenna.
They finally, some guys opened a business there and put in a cable system
Yeah.
but all you got on the cable system was just the Oklahoma City local channels.
Yeah.
But you did get a good signal.
I get pixelated interference here. I live directly on the other side of the antenna farm. In between them and me is a trash dump. I call it Mount Trashmore. It's out there on Bryant and I-240.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah. And every once in a while, depending upon the conditions, I'll get a pixelated signal on some of the channels.
Well, what TV station or what station is interfering with you?
Channel 9
Channel 9?
and 13.
They're pretty far north of you.
Yeah. But I think it's probably, if I put an outside antenna up a few more feet, I'd be all right for a few years
Yeah.
until Trashmore goes exactly, how much higher it has to be. It's line of sight mostly, isn't it?
Do what? Oh,
Aren't
yeah,
those signals line of sight?
pretty much. But I live
Yeah.
out here by Shawnee, and I have an attic antenna kind of pointed toward the northwest part of Oklahoma City, and I get all channels.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's what I've got. I've got an antenna in the attic. It's a pretty good sized antenna, but it's most of that was for the old VHFs
Yeah, mine
portion
too.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you miss that?
What's that, John?
The old VHF stuff. I miss that. My kids will never know what it's like to move into their first apartment or dump or whatever it is and stick a coat hanger in the back of the TV and pick up a couple of channels.
And watch a snowy picture.
Well, I mean, hey, it's TV. I mean, what do you want? But they'll never know they'll never carry it in, like that. Be like, you drop it, it's toast.
Yeah, some of those, when they got up to the larger screens with the glass tubes in them, boy, those suckers were heavy.
Oh, man, they were.
Oh man, I kicked. We had the old cabinet one when I was a kid, it had the record player on top.
Yep.
And I was mad at a basketball game and I kicked the damn TV and broke my foot because that glass was that thick. I was probably about 9 years old. My mother was so angry. But I mean, that thing was unforgiving.
Yeah.
And it was a monster.
So she ran over to see if you'd hurt the TV, right?
Yeah, no. She's like, I'm gonna check the TV and you better hope that's there's no crack. Because if there is, you won't have to worry about a broken foot no more. And but yeah, I remember moving to my first apartment when I was 18, and I stuck a coat hanger in the back of the TV I had in my bedroom that with my parents. And hey, some channels came in clear. Not all of them, but you mess with it a little bit, you got it better. But now you don't even get snow. If you can't get it in, you ain't getting it in.
Yeah.
And I think the one channel that I have trouble getting on over-the-air TV is Channel 5.
Yeah, it was lowest power.
Yeah. And of course, that's the one with the football games on it,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't like the DVR thing because it's delayed by about 10 or 12 seconds. But yeah, miss those days.
Hey, Ken,
Yes, sir.
back when I was doing Zoom more often before I started going to the meetings live, what was that guy's name? Was it Don that was up in Illinois that kept talking about bringing his coax in through the house?
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever get his coax brought in?
Nobody measured it.
Yeah, I try to look at the screen when I go to the live meetings just to see if he's on to give him a hard time, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he's been on a few times. He don't get on very often.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump off, but I just want to jump on and say hello to everybody.
Well, I'm glad you did. Keep us informed.
All right, I'll jump on every now and then.
All right, we'll see you later, Mike.
We'll see you.
Have a good one.
Take care.
So his jacket said Federal Protection Incorporated. Is that his company that he works for?
What's that, Bill?
His jacket said Federal Protection.
Oh, it seems like that is who he works for. Seems like he told me that one time, but I didn't remember the name of it. I couldn't read the label on the jacket anyway.
No, I couldn't either. So, Bill, you got a time frame? What is going to be 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 16? Next May?
Next month.
It's one of those things. It'll be there when it gets there.
Right.
Yeah.
I've only got so much energy, and the energy quotient is not very high.
And also you got the weather coming up.
Yeah. Well, you know, winter's the best time to be on radio, though.
Oh yeah, it's the best time to work on tower when it's icy. You're standing up on a tower on the ice.
Well, no, I didn't meant that. I meant like, you know, you got everything up and, you know, you don't want to go nowhere. Well, I'm getting nothing going on today. I'm just to get on the radio.
Well, hopefully if this tower works out like it should, I won't have to climb it.
Yeah, you can tilt it over.
I can tilt it over. And
well, I mentioned, you know, about putting an inverted V up there close to the bottom of your other antenna.
yeah, I think that's a good idea for 40 meters. I'd like to get on 40.
Yeah.
And that would be the simple way to do it.
And 40 is a good band in the wintertime.
Especially with the sun going down like it is.
Yeah.
20 right now is dead. You can't get on 20.
Well, I'm looking over here at the 160-meter waterfall, and it's full. So there's stuff going on 160 right now.
Yeah, once you get this, you know, the nighttime does really good for the low bands.
Yep.
But
and if you can put a inverted V up broadside to Europe would be good.
20, I seem to lose right a little bit after it's dark. It's just completely gone.
Well, I was monitoring 17 meters, and just before I got on and worked at Virgin Island stations on 160, 17 meters only had 1 or 2 signals on it.
Yeah.
So it was about dead. That was about a little before 6:30, and I'm sure 20 was going down by then too.
But then likewise, you know, in the summertime it reverses, you know, so That's why, like when we do the 10-meter net on Wednesday night, I have not heard people as well. And that's because, the band is just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really close, but
I listened last time and I couldn't hear any. I could just barely hear somebody, but I couldn't understand them.
yeah, well, I was net control last week.
Oh, you was?
Yeah. Then tomorrow will be Bill.
Well, Mike and I tried to, I think that was last week.
And then they moved over to AM to just try
Okay, this was week before that.
Okay.
That I tried to hear it.
Oh yeah, the week before I think I checked in, then I had to go. That is my only complaint about the nets is they're just too late at night. Like 8 o'clock at night is just
10-meter net is really not a good frequency. It's really good for the close in guys, but there's a certain distance out that you're not going to hear them no matter what you're doing, no matter how much power you're running. That's when you need to be either on the low band or 6 meters or something like that. 6 meters, then you have the directivity problem. You got to have a beam pointed at them, of course.
When I was talking to a friend out in Tennessee, he asked me what time we run the Aries net. I said 8 o'clock on Tuesday. He's like, geez, we do it at 5 o'clock on Monday. And I'm like, man, I wish we could do it, but I guess they're counting on people being off work or whatever. But
5 o'clock, people's not off work yet or driving home from work.
But 8 o'clock, man, maybe I'm just getting old.
That's probably it.
Turning into my dad. My dad used to go to bed at 7 o'clock or when the sun went down, whichever one happened first.
Yeah.
So in the wintertime right now, he wouldn't be talking. He'd be in bed. It's the middle of the night for him.
I usually stay up until the weather goes off.
Oh, 10:30?
10:20. So 10:30.
But yeah, it seemed like, in the wintertime, he went to bed earlier.
Well, when I get old, I'll start going to bed earlier.
Well, you ain't old. Well, you're only 18 years old.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a religious thing he did. But I mean, he was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, though.
Yeah.
3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Down there working in the basement, working on radios.
Yeah.
And man, he just I don't know. Wonder what they got going on in Elmer night tonight.
Well, it looks like they got a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I see computers open. I don't see Mark. I see Chris. Chris is there tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Man, I can hear this signal coming off the moon. I'll turn it up. Well, quit transmitting now.
Yeah, when you get it back, turn it up.
I'm gonna see if I can move the camera over there so it don't make you guys drunk. I can't hardly move this camera because my wire's too short. Guess I can't do it. Well, there's the screen. All them green lines right there is me decoding him. And you can see the trace. The trace right here is his signal. And that's coming off the moon.
Well,
That's a 500,000-mile trip.
yeah, man.
If I could get this wire goes down behind the monitor and wire's too short. Got a strain on it. I can hear him now. Can you hear that tone?
No, I can't.
You can't hear it?
No, I can't hear it. What's wrong?
Yeah, when you get old, you can't hear certain.
Well, there's a lot of truth in that. I had a hearing test, I don't know, 6 months ago, and my high frequency hearing is completely absent, gone. I mean, the
Yeah.
curve that they plotted looked like a ski slope.
Might have had a low pass filter in
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's crazy what they can do with hearing aids these days.
there. Yeah, I know it.
Well,
Who was telling me this? It was Bill Baker. He said that his new hearing aids, they pick up Bluetooth and everything.
Yeah.
And so he can use it with his phone or whatever.
my hearing in the voice range is excellent, but when it gets up above, like, I don't know, 1800 hertz or so, it starts dropping off like you wouldn't believe. And I have hardly anything up around 8K. It's just not existent. Too much loud stuff.
Yeah. I'm surprised you guys couldn't hear that.
Let's see if we can hear this. It's just static.
I can hear that noise. Could y'all hear the noise? It's not the tone.
You got kicked off the TRC. This is immediately above your brain. You got kicked off. You got kicked off the TRC. When you go to the FCC database, it's fcc.gov.
Okay, we're going to go away from that now.
I could certainly hear that.
Yeah, no, we got two guys being, oh, geez. I stay off at 80.
Yeah.
It sounds like they got a big argument going on there.
You don't have to put up with that crap when you do digital mode, John.
Man, I'm telling you what, there is a guy out there. He's from Ripley, Tennessee. And it seems like he just gets on the air to harass people. I've listened to it before.
Yeah.
And
There's always got to be one, John.
it's really unfortunate, I think, because man, this hobby is so much fun. And you got the dude guy, he just gets tanked. I think he just gets super drunk or whatever. And
Is that on 80 meters, John?
Yeah, we used to be on 40 meters too, on 7.200. And I was showing my daughter the radio, getting her used to it. And man, I was in the middle of a QSO and he just came, I think he runs like a flex radio and a kilowatt amplifier and he just gets on there and just starts talking about people. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't get it, and so I was like, well, let's just turn the knob.
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of that kind of BS on 80 meters.
Well, I was just tuned into it. It looks like it. It looks like they're still going.
That's a waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually pretty smart, just to be honest with you, for taking you off the bar.
So you hear them talking over each other?
Well, he has. I've got some stuff, which I don't care. I ain't gonna argue with him, but he actually does have a degree, and I can't remember.
So they're up there drunk and arguing. And so I remember after that, I tore down my 80-meter antenna.
The problem is that FCC won't do anything about that anymore. We're on our own now.
Yeah, what is that with the FCC? How come they don't enforce compliance?
Because they don't have hardly any employees left.
Yeah, that's true.
They've cut and cut and cut until there's nobody to do compliance anymore. I think they do have a volunteer listening group or something like that.
Yeah, well,
listens.
they put it in the QST magazine every month, and it seems like the same people show up there in the complaint part of it monthly. That's 3916. That's those freewheeler guys.
Yeah, I know. Way back when I first got my license years and years ago, the FCC did do compliance. I mean, they listened
Yeah.
on the bands.
Yes, they did.
I got off. I had a Heathkit BFO, and it wasn't super accurate, and I got a little too close and got over, I guess, into it was on 10 meters, and got over into a portion that was just Canadian,
Yeah.
just barely, but somebody heard me, and I got a letter from the FCC, and
You got to notice them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did. And I had to write them back and tell them I wouldn't do it again, but
Yeah.
I'd be more careful.
Yeah, well, but yeah, there's hopefully then they'll go away. We at my job we call it they'll fire themselves, kind of thing.
I don't know. I was listening to somebody on YouTube, one of the guys that does nothing but ham radio, has a program, and he was talking about 80 meters and how bad it had gotten on 80 meters with the foul language and nobody complying, using their call signs, and that it had
Yeah. See, you
really
don't have to
gotten.
put up with that crap on digital mode.
Yeah, you just stay away from it best you can. But
Yeah, if they want to cuss you out, they're going to have to do it in a few short words on digital.
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, as soon as people get adversarial, I just turn the dial.
I'm with you. That
Soon as you realize they're just out there to be vulgar, you just turn the dial. Turn the dial.
back in way back when, in the dinosaur days, when I was first got on the air, you didn't hear anything like that at all. I never
No.
heard any.
They were very courteous, and everybody sent a QSL card. They didn't want you to send them $2 to pay for return postage. None of that crap.
Of course, it only cost a 3-cent stamp back then.
Yeah, you paid the postage to them, and they paid the postage back.
Right. I never remember hearing any foul language at all, or really even anybody being rude.
Nope.
On.
Well, it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens sometimes. So, but for the most part, I think it's okay. Well, I mean, it's not okay, but you know what I mean. The problem is with that group is they keep antagonizing one another.
Yeah.
They get into argument. Why? It's pointless.
Life's too short for that crap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just turn the dial. turn it over, and they're looking for somebody to engage them. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And as soon as they find somebody to engage them, then you got to realize. I tell my kids this all the time. Then they pull you down to their level.
Yeah.
And you act stupid. So.
Well, I'm glad you realize that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go, guys. We got the Aries net. Ken, I'll call you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right, you guys have a good evening.
See you later.
See you, Bill.
Yeah, see you.
I'm gonna jump over there too.
Okay, Mike. Good talking to you.
Yeah, Mike, have a good night.
Catch y'all on the next one.
Okay.
Or set your alarm for 9 o'clock in the morning.
What's happening then?
MacNet.
Okay.
on the repeater.
Hey, the screenshot from the power station's getting bigger now. I can see people better. Looks like there's 8 people there.
So Ken, what's that big tube socket you got laying on your desk behind over your shoulder there? Looks like a big tube socket anyway.
Oh, you can see that?
Yeah.
Right. That's a, this is a 4D32 tube, and I have the socket that goes with it.
A 4D32. That
Yeah.
looks like
It's not a
like
real,
the-
it's a transmitter tube, but it's not a real high-powered tube. It only run about 120 watts or so.
about like a 6146 then, huh?
A little more. A 6146 is really about 90 watts.
About 90.
Yeah.
And then you say
Solid
that's good
100
for about
watts.
120.
Yeah. But I've had that for 40 years, thinking I was going to build an amplifier someday with it, but I never have. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'd like to give it to somebody that might appreciate having an old tube. And having the socket's probably worth more than the tube, you know?
I had a bunch of old transmitter tubes. When I was in high school, I worked at the local AM radio station, and got some of the old transmitter tubes and thought I might do something with them, and
Yeah,
ended up storing them for a long time and finally gave them away.
that's probably what I'll do. I've got a 4-1000 too.
Now that's a tube.
Yeah.
Yep. That
Yeah, that's a tube.
that's probably good for a kilowatt, isn't it?
Yeah. That takes so much. I mean, I can't remember exactly. The filament current is like 20 amps. You got to have a 5-volt at 20 amp transformer just to heat up the filaments.
Wow.
So I probably won't do anything with it.
Speaking-
Ham gave it to me years ago.
Speaking of heating up the filaments, have you ever looked at that, the YouTube videos they have of that station, that AM station that back in the 30s used to run 1,000,000 watts?
No, I haven't. 1,000,000 watts.
1,000,000 watts.
Wow.
The guy that owned the station kept kicking it up at 10 dB at a time.
Yeah.
Went from 100,000 to 1,000,000. But what I was thinking about was they showed down in the basement what it took to drive the filaments on that thing. And it had a motor generator set down there that was as big as my bedroom or
Wow.
bigger.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, it took, I mean, unbelievable amount of current to drive the filaments on the
Yeah.
tubes they had in those things.
Probably a couple hundred amps or something.
Oh, yeah, I think it was more than that. That motor generator was big enough, it probably put out like 1,000 amps or something. It was a huge motor generator set.
Yeah.
The motor part of it looked like it was probably several hundred horsepower.
Yeah.
And then it turned the generator that supplied the filament voltage. And that is really an interesting video. They take you through what's left of, they have preserved a lot of the transmitter just as a, static display. And it's really interesting. video. I had no idea that anybody ever ran that kind of power.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of 100,000 watt AM broadcast stations back in the day,
Yeah,
but 1,000,000 watts. Wow.
yeah. They had a big antenna too, or in fact, it was a phased array of 4 antennas, I think, and they were covering. I think it was in Ohio or somewhere back, Ohio or Illinois, and they were covering so much of the United States. They were covering about about 2/3 of the U.S. with that one station.
Wow.
The Canadians were complaining,
Yeah.
and then they didn't pay too much attention to that. But then other station owners, started complaining that they were covering their territory,
Yeah.
and they eventually made them
Cut
stop
back on the power.
cut the power back to. But it was one of the 3.
KOMA was 50,000 watts, wasn't it?
Yeah, it still is.
Is it?
Yeah, they don't call it KOMA anymore. Well, they've got KOMA FM, but KOMA AM
Mhm.
it's got a different call sign now, and I think they're like a talk radio.
But where's it at? Where's the antennas at?
It's in Moore.
Well, someone told me that the big KOMA antennas in Moore got tore down in that May 3rd tornado.
No, they didn't.
That's not true.
No, my father-in-law's house got blown away in that tornado, but
That KOMA antenna still there?
I think so. I haven't
Well,
driven by it in a while, but I've driven
I'm
by.
glad to hear that, because whoever told me that, and I don't remember who it was, I was surprised because I hadn't heard that before. But I didn't dispute it, because, man, it was a big tornado and it was kind of close to that path.
It was. In fact, his house was right behind the KOMA radio station.
Mhm.
And it took out a row of houses right along there. But I don't think it did anything to those antennas.
Good. I haven't been down there in a long time. I used
Well,
to
I
have a
haven't
friend that
either.
lived on Janeway.
That's close.
Uh-huh. And I think that KOMA is, if you go down Janeway to 4th Street, I think Janeway stops there because of the property of the KOMA towers. If I remember right, it's been years since I've been down there.
Yeah, if you drive down 4th Street, you'll pass right by it on the south side of the street there.
Yeah. God, I used to go dune bugging with lived there on Janeway. His wife worked at Western Electric. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was just down the street from us.
Yep.
Yeah. We used to, guys doing RFI testing used to go down there and use their bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Remember seeing that thing down there that had the big earth mounds built up all around it?
Yeah.
That was a RFI testing facility. And Seagate used to borrow that to do RFI certification for their disk drives.
Yeah.
In fact, you may have gotten in on some of that. I don't know.
I didn't go to that. Some of the other guys went. Can't remember who it was. Somebody went Minneapolis one time for some kind of certification. Well, you got all your cables pulled in your PVC yet?
No, I have to splice that
Oh, yeah.
rudder cable.
Yeah.
I just got in the additional rotor cable I needed. It just came in a couple of days ago. And I was thinking about how I was going to make that splice so that I didn't make a big wad
lump.
of,
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a problem. If you do it like you said, there won't be a problem. And are you going to go ahead and pull another piece of coax in there for an inverted V?
I'm going to do like you said, and I'm going to pull an extra rope in there.
Yeah.
So that I can easily pull another piece of coax through it. I don't think I'll probably pull the coax right now, but
I know what I was going to say is you probably don't have to use LMR 400 for that. You could use that RG 213 for that low band. You know, you're not doing high frequency there.
is that a smaller diameter coax or
No,
is it?
it's RG8 size.
Oh, okay.
Same size. It's the same size as RG8 or LMR 400, and it's really good coax. It's RG 213 Belden.
RG 213.
Yeah. That's what I've got going back to my 200 feet back to my 60-foot vertical.
Your 160-meter vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ken, you about ready to hang it up for tonight?
Yeah.
We're the last hanger oners here.
Yeah, that's good. That way we don't get interrupted.
True.
So what's that picture behind you there, Bill?
Oh, that is
I can see part of it.
that's a picture my sister-in-law painted.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, my wife is a painter.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, here.
Yeah, looks good.
This is one of her paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get a good shot of it here, but anyway, she's
Here. I've got a picture I'll show you while we're at it here. I didn't actually paint this picture, but I took it and it's published in Outdoor Oklahoma.
wow.
Front cover shot.
How about that? That's really a good photograph.
Took that at Wichita Wildlife Refuge. March/April 1992. That's
Wow.
how long ago that was. Can't get the glare off of it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a really good shot.
I had a lot of stuff published in Outdoor Oklahoma. They didn't pay very good. State magazines don't pay very good, but I had some stuff published in Birders World. That's a national magazine, and they paid a lot better. But we was traveling a lot then, and it gave me something to do when we went to those Yellowstone and Rocky Mountain National Park and Alaska, and doing photography was just right up my alley in them places.
That was when you were still using film, right?
Yeah, that was the film days.
Yeah.
I used to shoot a lot of film. I know one time we went to Yellowstone. I shot 50 rolls of
Whoa.
36 exposure slide film.
Still got all your slides?
I got them, file cabinets full of them.
You ever dig them out and look at your slides?
See them file cabinets right there?
Yeah,
Those are full of slides.
really?
Yep. There's two drawers. It's not slides. The rest of them are slides.
That was a long time before digital got good enough, digital photography to
Yeah,
be.
they wouldn't. And the only thing that magazine editors would take was slide film because it's a lot better resolution. And 100 ASA was about as slow as film as they would take. So I was shooting Fuji 100 ASA and Fuji 50 Velvia and Kodachrome 64. That's about all they'd take. And it's really hard to do wildlife photography with slow film because normally wildlife is during low light, early morning, late evening. So you didn't have very much light. You was using slow film. You had to shoot from a tripod. It was not easy.
Yeah, plus wildlife doesn't always stay still long enough
Yeah.
to get a good
Right.
exposure.
So what that means is you have to have fast lenses so you can get your shutter speed up fast enough.
And those are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a 300 2.8 and a 500 f4, and those were high dollar lenses. They were
Very
good.
high dollar.
About $5,000 for the 500 f4 and a little over $3,000 for the other one.
What kind of camera body did you have?
Nikon f4 with a
Nikon.
motor drive on it. That f4 with the motor drive would shoot a roll of 36 exposure film in 6 seconds
Good grief.
if you held the button down.
That's a good thing about digital photography. You don't worry about the cost of the film or it's
No.
going to cost you to have it processed.
Yeah. Process it yourself on your computer at home.
Absolutely. Did you ever do any darkroom work at
Yep,
your
I
own?
have a dark room. When I built this house, I built a dark room.
Oh, really?
And now it's a junk room. But I had a dark room set up. I used to really enjoy that. I used to do a lot of black and white stuff too. That was before I did wildlife.
Yeah, color was a lot more complicated.
Yeah, I tried color and I'm a little bit colorblind and that didn't work out too good. I could print a color picture and man, it looked good to me and everybody else said it was green or orange or something. Well, I'll let you go, Bill.
Okay, Ken, enjoyed it. Always
I
enjoy
enjoyed
talking
it.
to you.
Talk to you next time.
Okay. Have a good one.